Commission led by Chairman Richard Bachman, and the Games and Amusement Board led by Chairman Attorney Richard Clarin. At mamaya, mga kasama natin sa Senado, I heard nandito po si Senator Tol kanina. May we now request the committee secretary to read into the record the presence of our resource persons here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. For the budget briefing on the proposed 2004 budget of the Games and Amusement Board and the Philippine Sports Commission, we have the following resource persons. For the Philippine Sports Commission, we have Chairperson Richard E. Bachman, together with Mr. Paulo Francisco Tata, the Executive Director, Ms. May Angeli Razo, the Executive Assistant of the Office of the Chairman, Ms. Merlita Ibay, the Deputy Executive Director of the Bureau on Administrative, Financial, and Management Services, Attorney Guillermo B. Roy Jr., the Deputy Executive Director of the Bureau on Coordinating Secretariat and Support Services. We also have Mr. Eric Jean A. Mayores, Chief Accounting Division, Dr. Lauro Domingo Jr., the Chief Program Research and Development Division, and Ms. Violeta Tuason, the Chief of Budget Division. We also have the following athletes: Ms. Sofia Harrison, athlete of the Philippine Women's Football Team; Mr. Ronci Ted Gabayeron, athlete of the Philippine Sepak Takraw Men's Team; and Ms. Joyce Gail Reboton for powerlifting. For the Games and Amusement Board, we have Attorney Richard S. Clarin, the chairperson, together with Attorney Regino Maliari Jr., the Chief of Staff; Mr. Mark Q. Fabi, the Chief Relations Officer; Mr. Romel U. Gutierrez, the Chief Administrative Officer; Ms. Maria Elvira Petalcorin, the Supervising Administrative Officer; and Ms. Josephine E. Alfonso, the Acting Chief Budget Section. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Salamat po, Comsec. Thank you. Before we begin with the presentations, let me first put on record the importance of the budgets of the Philippine Sports Commission and the Games and Amusement Board. As the chairman of the Senate Committee on Sports, I firmly believe that sports will help us in keeping our youth away from illegal drugs and other harmful vices. Sabi ko nga, get into sports, stay away from drugs, and to keep us healthy and fit. At isa rin po ito sa paraan na ilayo natin ang mga kabataan sa illegal na droga. Isang paraan ito na may pagpatuloy yung kampanya ni dating Pangulong Duterte na labanan ang illegal na droga. Dahil pag bumalik po ang illegal na droga, babalik po ang kriminalidad, babalik po ang korupsyon sa gobyerno. Aside from that, of course, we also aim to make our mark in the world of sports and develop more world-class athletes who can bring pride, honor, and medals to our country. At congratulations rin po sa ating SBP and of course sa Philippine Sports Commission, sa lahat ng tumulong sa napaka-successful na hosting ng FIBA World. In fact, talagang naipakita natin na napakaganda po ng ating bansa at meron talaga tayong kakayahan na mag-host ng napakalaking sporting events na ganito. Isa po ang aking natutunan dito sa pag-host ng FIBA World. Tingnan yung mabuti po yung kanilang sistema. Napakaganda, organized, yung lahat. At yung kita mo yung presentation nila, pagpasok mo pa lang, at well organized ang yung paghahanda. In fact, bago po nag-start yung opening ng FIBA World, kami ang naimbitahan ni Senator, our Finance Chair, Senator Sani Angara, and of course our Majority Floor Leader, Senator Joel Villanueva, na sa kanilang dry run. Nakita ko, even before the game, a day before the opening, kami po yung pinaglaro dun sa dry run. Kaya lang po, 3 beses po kaming tinawag, 3 beses po kaming first 5. Kala namin kami po ang tinawag, yung apelido namin. apelyido naman ng team ng Lithuania at saka ng Egypt. Yung tinawag nila, tuwing nakaka 3 points kami, kala ko go 3 points, ibang apelyido rin yung tinawag. Pinagpraktisan po kami doon sa opening. So ibig sabihin, pag nandiyan dyan po yung disiplina at pag kaya nating gustuhin natin na maging well-organized po tayo, kaya po yan. At magiging successful po yung ating mga events kung well-organized po yung preparation. Magaling. At of course, kasama tayo dyan, kasama kayo. During the budget preparation, tumulong po tayo na mapondohan po yung hosting ng FIBA World. Nadagdagan pa ng Senado during the BICAM at malaking tulong po yon sa pag-promote po ng ating bansa, sa kagandahan po ng ating bansa. For 15 days, 16, 17 days nakatutok po sa ating bayan, ang buong mundo sa napakaganda po ng ating bansa. At sisingit ko na lang, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Robin Hood Padilla, isa sa mga masisipag na senador, and very supportive po ito sa ating sports. Dahil hindi lang po siya pang sports. Pang pamilya pa. As such, it is important to support both grassroots sports development and elite sports for this year's budget. With the support of our chairman of the Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Angara, we allocated funding for PSC's grassroots program and the preparation, training, and participation of our national athletes in international sports competitions. Galing rin po ako sa Southeast Asian Games. Congratulations po. Very successful yung ating pagsali doon, no? Though kung meron mang dapat ayusin, may panahon pa kayong ayusin. Of course, good luck sa Asian Games sa darating na September 25, 25 up to October 8. So good luck sa atin, sa lahat ng mga athletes, para po ito sa inyo yung ginagawa natin to support our athletes. Additionally, I am very proud of Gilas Pilipinas, and congratulations for earning a spot in the Olympic qualifying tournament. Alam ko po, binigay niyo ang lahat, ginawa niyo po ang lahat para lumaban. Ang puso po ang ginamit ninyo, and never say die attitude po ng ating team, Gilas Pilipinas. Mahalaga rin po na magkaroon tayo ng tama at sapat na training ang ating mga manlalaro. Kaya naman gusto ko rin pong pagtuunan ng pansin na mayroon tayong sports facilities na maaring maging training center ng ating mga atleta. At ako po'y saksi mismo na pasyalan ko ang inyong matagal ng pasilidad. Itong field sports, no? Nakapaglaro kami doon. Medyo tumutulo na rin yung gym. Kailangan na rin sigurong magkaroon ng repair, at yung atleta natin, yung mga barracks nila, dapat po'y komportable ang ating mga atleta, dahil iba talaga pag suportado sila, komportable, pagkain, yung kanilang tirahan, at bago sila sumabak sa competition ay dapat kumbaga sa lahat ng laban naman, dapat alagang-alaga po ang ating mga atleta. Suportahan po natin sila, at mahalaga na magkaroon rin ng tama at sapat na training ang ating mga manlalaro. Kaya naman gusto kong pagtuunan ng pansin nga po itong mga sports facilities. Nauna na natin isinulong po, no, ang Republic Act number 11470, though under po ito ng DepEd. Kasama po si Senator Win Gatchalian, Senator Sani Angara, Senator Pia Cayetano, at mga kasama natin ng 18th Congress upang magkaroon ng National Academy for Sports sa New Clark City para makapag-training ang mga atleta at mga estudyante. Pwede silang mag-training at the same time mag-aral, pwede silang mag-aral at the same time mag-training. Wala pong masasakripisyo. Yan po ang National Academy for Sports na batas na po at may sariling pasilidad. Sayang yung facilities natin dyan po sa New Clark City na itinayo natin para po nung hosting ng Southeast Asian Games last 2019. Sana po nananawagan ako sa Philippine Sports Commission. Sana po mapakinabangan pa natin ito ng husto para sa ating mga atleta. In the past budgets, I have pushed for additional budgetary allocation for the establishment of Philippine Sports Training Center. We want to see this into fruition. Sana po mabigyan nyo kami ng updates po dito sa ano na hong plano ninyo. Dahil balitaan ko, una nasa Bataan po ito at ano ng updates. Gusto nating marinig rin po. As to the Games and Amusement Board, I also want to know the developments in professional sports, particularly the emergence of e-sports, no? Napansin ko na talagang marami pong sumasali at ako po ay natutuwa dito sa esports dahil kahit saan pwede silang mag-participate at isa rin po ito sa paraan na ilayo natin ang mga kabataan sa illegal na droga. Get into sports, get into esports and stay away from drugs. Daming sumasali as far as napuntahan ko last time sa Sambuanga Bugay. May mga competition po sila doon sa mga e-sports. So, Chairman, hingiran po tayo ng update tungkol dito. Kaya naman hinihimo ko po ang ating mga kasamahan tulad ng ating ever supportive Senator Robin Hood Padilla na suportahan po natin ang budget ng Philippine Sports Commission at ang GAB para tuloy-tuloy lang po ang sports development sa ating bansa. Maraming salamat po. Senator Robin, do you have any opening remarks?
Una po, magandang umaga po sa inyo, Chairman, sa atin pong hinahangaan na senador. Siya po ang pinakamasipag, the most hardworking Senator Bongo. At siyempre po, yung pagiging sportsman niya, hindi pang publicity lang, totoong sportsman siya. Kaya talagang bagay na bagay niya sa inyo, sir, ang chairmanship po nito. Gusto ko lamang pong batiin ng ating mga panauhin sapagkat na sa matagumpay na pagsasagawa ng FIBA. At ito po ay nagbigay ng napakagandang imahe sa ating bansa. At ito po ay yung mga kailangan natin na positive image. Kaya sana po ipagpatuloy po natin din yung mga tagumpay ng ating mga athlete na nagbibigay ng karangalan sa atin, honor. Isang bagay din po yan na mahikayat din natin yung ating mga kababayan na wag masyadong mag-TikTok. Puro TikTok lang yung mga kabataan natin. Kailangan mag-sports din sila. Iba din yung pampamilya, pang-sports pa. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Now, to start off, we will first hear the budget presentations of PSC and GAB, and then we will open the floor for questions and discussions. Let us first hear the presentation of PSC Chairman Bachman, sir.
Magandang hapon po. Hindi ba?
Star player po yan ng Lasal noon.
Senator Bongo, Chairman of Senate Committee on Sports, and esteemed senators and supporters of athletes, Senator Padilla, Senator Tolentino, nandito kanina. It is an honor to be here with the honorable senators to present the 2024 budget of the Philippine Sports Commission. The PSC continues to envision a unified sports program with three overarching dreams: enhance the quality of the life of the Filipinos, instill national pride, generate international prestige through sports excellence. This vision aimed to increase sports participation of and excellence in sports performance by Filipinos. The PSC mission is to serve as catalyst for the promotion of sports and instituting policies and priorities by carrying out 5 major tasks as follows. Una, to implement a national sports program. Number 2, to create an equal access to sports by all sectors. 3, to install support systems for stakeholders and partners. 4, to help athletes reach their highest potentials in sports. 5, and to promote the practice of positive values and physical qualities one can acquire from sports engagements. The 6 strategic directions of the PSC from 2023 all the way to 2028. Number 1, sports governance is about enhancing the capability and accountability of PSC to lead and manage sports programs in the country. 2, sports awareness is about promoting the role of sports for physical development and nation building. 3, sports accessibility is about making sports accessible to the greatest number of Filipinos through Sports for All and grassroots sports program that generates healthy lifestyle and globally competitive athletes. 5, sports facilities development to improve the present sports facilities and to erect new sports facilities at par with international standards. Number 5, sports linkages to strengthen local and international linkages in sports. And lastly, high-performance sports development to focus on sports training and support the international competitions of athletes to develop international champions. The PSC budget requests for 2024. For fiscal year 2024, the Department of Budget and Management, DBM, has approved the total amount of 210,444,000 for the Philippine Sports Commission. That's distributed at 64% maintenance and other operational expenses and 34% personal services. Even compared to fiscal year 2023 approved budget, funding given by the legislative body after DBM's approval, PSC's budget for fiscal year 2024 was further reduced by 41%. The initial request of the PSC totaled to over 3 billion pesos, which included 2.1 billion for capital outlay and approximately 1 billion for MOOE. With the recent decision of DBM on PSC's budgetary request for 2024, the 2024 plans and programs of the PSC will no longer be viable, which prioritizes renovations and improvements of outdated and dilapidated sports facilities, building of dormitories and sport training centers, and services for the nutritional or dietary needs of all 1,700 athletes across the archipelago. The current state of government sports facilities in the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, the Field Sports Complex, and the training center at the Teachers Camp in Baguio can range from need to extreme repairs to condemned infrastructures. It is the goal of the original proposed budget of 2024 to fund repairs on the facilities and constructions of new ones. For dormitories alone, the PSC initially budgeted 220 million for existing buildings and the constructions of new dormitories amounting to 714 million that would accommodate more than 400 athletes and coaches who will be training in our facilities. PSC is also prioritizing the build of state-of-the-art training centers for all athletes. The Rizal Memorial will be the home of a 1.2 billion 12-story training center that will be equipped with the newest technologies in sports training. This is slated to be completed in 2026. Our existing sports venues in Rizal Memorial, on the other hand, is in badly need of a 1 billion worth of repairs. Some of the facilities has experienced extreme flooding during typhoon seasons that threatens not only the sports equipment in houses, but also the welfare of our athletes. And the historical Rizal Baseball Stadium can no longer accommodate sports spectators due to the condemned status of the structure. Due to its status of being considered a historical landmark, the stadium cannot be demolished but needs to be rehabilitated to bring it back to its former glory. Other plans and programs developed for our athletes are roadmap in the original proposed 2024 PSC budget to help them become world-class and medal-winning athletes. Included are the hosting of the Philippine National Games, Batang Pinoy, National Para Games, and Larot Saya sa Parque, which are venues for developing our sports grassroots program and eventually discovering new elite sports heroes. To quote President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., during the Philippine National Athletes Audience in Malacanang, he said, the executive, in partnership with the legislative, we can provide the best possible support for you. It is PSC's intention to appeal that these inclusions be considered by the legislative body of the government to better serve our athletes. Okay. Design and art. We'll go to designs and after construction of renovation. Where are we now? There. This one? Okay. The next series of slides are the details of our request for budget for the construction and renovation of facilities in Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, Field Sports Pasig, and PSC Baguio Training Camp. For the rehabilitation and improvement of the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, we aim to hold it in 5 phases. The first phase is the retrofitting of the admin building and its structure, which is currently in disrepair due to the years of wear and tear. The project is estimated to cost 320 million. Another part of the first phase is the renovation of the PSC Hall of Fame or the Sports Museum to cost 80 million. The Sports Museum would not only serve as an educational venue for the people, but we hope that through the numerous achievements housed in the venue, we will also inspire young students and the current national team members to aspire and reach further. The next is the design of the development of the 12-story multi-sport training center that will replace the previous bowling center. This building is expected to house various sports, including bowling and arnis. The overall cost of this project is estimated to reach 1.2 billion pesos. Part of the phase 2 is also the development of the 7-story athletes dormitory for all athletes billeted in the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Phase 3 will then see the rehabilitation of the Rizal Memorial Baseball Stadium, which was last underwent rehabilitation back in 2005. This stadium is currently the training venue for both softball and baseball national teams of our country, which will estimate the cost of 490,500 pesos. Phase 4 is about the rehabilitation of the gymnastics center, which was last rehabilitated in 2008. We aim to improve the amenities and raise its standard to international level. This rehab is expected to cost 200 million. Lastly, phase 5 is the rehabilitation of the Rizal Memorial and Nino Aquino Stadium, which serves as training facilities of athletes. Both venues were last renovated back in 2019 for the Southeast Asian Games. However, their use as quarantine facilities during the pandemic prevented for the maintenance of the facilities in the said venues. To restore the facilities will cost 15 million. Next on the priority of the agency is the rehabilitation of and construction of the Field Sports Complex. Currently, the complex houses athletes for athletics, fencing, and karate. It also is the main training venue for the para-athletes, while the multipurpose arena was last renovated in 2019. For 2024, we want to rehabilitate and conduct preventive maintenance to ensure that the amenities of the facilities is up to standard and ensure the safety and comfort of our athletes. This undertaking will happen in 4 phases. First is improvement of sewer line and drainage system. Second is constructions of skate park. Third is the rehabilitation of dormitories. And lastly, constructions of a concrete slope protection. In total, it is estimated to cost 550 million pesos. Third priority in the rehabilitation of the PSC Training Center in Baguio City, Teachers Camp. Currently, this training center houses athletes from Muay Thai, boxing, and Pencak Silat. The rehabilitation will be held in 3 phases. First is construction of 2 units of sewage treatment plants. Second is rehabilitation of the PSC gym and upgrading of cottages, and third improvement of the mess hall. Overall, it is estimated to cost 70 million pesos. And finally, fourth in our priority projects under capital outlay is the digitalization of PSC, which includes system for asset and facilities administration and management system, athletes wellness and sports performance management system, and lastly, enterprise office management systems. This will start in 2024 and is expected to spill over 2025. The cost is estimated to be 128 billion pesos. We also request for funding for the National Sports Association's local and international competitions and our projects under the Grassroots Development Program. And this slide is a summary of unfunded programs and projects for 2024. First, the athletes and coaches catering services. We hope to provide our athletes proper and balanced meals and ensuring sports nutrition programs are met. This undertaking will cover the whole year of 2024 and will cost 270 million pesos. Second and third is the Grassroots Competition Program, Batang Pinoy for athletes 17 and below, Philippine National Games for athletes 18 and above, and Batang Pinoy is expected to cost 200 million, while the Philippine National Games is expected to reach 180 million pesos. Fourth is the Larot Saya sa Parke, the premier sports for all project held in partnership with local government units and aim to increase the participation in sports at the grassroots level. Currently, LSP is partnered with at least 11 LGUs. It requires a 30 million peso funding. Next is the Indigenous Peoples Games, where we celebrate traditional and ethnic cultural games of the various indigenous people in our country. Funding for said project will require 20 million pesos. Sixth is funding for the Philippine National Anti-Doping Organization. FINADO is our country's commitment to the World Anti-Doping Organization that ensures fair and safe sports competitiveness at all levels. For the year 2024, to maintain our commitment in ensuring that our competitive field is fair and safe, it would cost 40 million plus pesos. Seventh is the project Basics to Brilliance, which aims to establish regional training centers with a goal of not only decentralizing sports development in major cities, but also to reach more potential athletes. This project is estimated to cost 100 million. Next is the Philippine National Para Games, a local national level competition for para athletes held biannually. It is estimated to cost 15 million pesos. Ninth, on the priority project is the Para Sports Coaches Training and Workshop, a competency building of coaches of para athletes with a budget of 15 million. Last, there are National Sports Coaching Certification Course, a coach certification program for regional coaches costing 2 million, Philippine Sports Hall of Fame 10 million, and Philippine Sports Library with 10 million required budget. Thank you for all your support.
Salamat, Chairman Bachman. May tanong lang po ako tungkol dito sa budget ninyo, no? Papansin ko, pag nag-propose kayo, ganito talagang ini-slash ng DBM. So, parang nangyayari, inaasa sa Congress kung may dadagdag later on ang Congress. So, napakalaki po ng diferensya. Sobrang hirap pong habulin yung variance nga. So, ang tanong ko dito, ang approve ng DBM endorse nila is 210 million. Last year, less than 200 million.
113, good.
No, I mean, ang na-approve, endorsed by DBM last year, I think it was less than 200. It was 178, no? Sabi niya 200.
178 plus race horsing 207. Well,
Pero ang na-approve ng Congress sa ito.
Ano yan?
Yung ano to sa
So, magkano po ang na-approve ng DBM last year?
207 po.
207?
Yes.
Kasi nakalagay dito sa NEP is 181, yung new appropriations.
May plus pa, Your Honor. This is the horse racing. Yeah.
A plus horse racing.
In horse racing po. So it will get to 207.
Okay. So, basically, nandiyan dyan lang po yung approval nila. Ang manggagaling po sa mandatory share po ng PAGCOR, magkano po? Magkano siya para
The share for 2022, yung PAGCOR remittance, umabot ng 1.1 billion.
So saan niyo po ginamit yung sa PAGCOR na remittances?
So lahat ng
I mean, complement nitong variance.
lahat ng mga remittances ng PAGCOR, it goes to all the NSAs. We all have to understand that in 2019, we only had 43 sports. Okay? 2023, we already have 75 sports. So medyo nag-double na yung mga sports.
I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Tol Tolentino. Senator Tol, do you have any
With your permission, Mr. Chair, nag-informal hearing na kami kanina dito eh. 1 hour. 1 hour po off the record pero I'm in full support. Sabi ko lang kanina, Mr. Chairman, sana po yung mga various sports academies ng LGUs ay ma-integrate din sa kanila. We have now, Mr. Chairman, ito for the record na ito, a sports academy in existence and being utilized in Zamboanga del Sur. And then, ano po ba yung pinag-usapan natin? Chairman Bachman, napakarami na. Mr. Chairman, I also expressed my desire and we can co-author this, Mr. Chairman. Kasi kapapasa lang ng one town, one product bill which will be signed into law by President BBM. Kung magkaroon tayo ng one town, one sports law. Halimbawa po, kanina pinapunta ko dito yung mayor ng Barotac. Sa Barotac Nuevo, football is being supported by the LGU through the years. Sa Anilao, Iloilo, baseball. Sa Canlubang, Laguna, baseball. Sa Jensan, boxing. Sa Tagaytay, combat sports. In other places, Mr. Chairman, at siguro po on a limited basis, kung magkaroon ng one town, one sport, na alam kong tutulungan niyo ako, ay parang meron din tayong one town, one product. So ma-highlight po yung specialization ng iba't iba sa Cebu, sa Bugo, boxing, di ba ho? At sa Olonga po ay triathlon. Saan pa ba yung sinabi ko kanina hindi pa ako nagtatanghalian eh. Sa Iloilo and other areas po, Zamboanga City, weightlifting, doon galing si Heidelin Diaz. Di ba? So if we can craft we will be co-authors, Mr. Chairman, para matulungan po itong Philippine Sports Commission, the Games and Amusement Board, and the entire sports sector in the Philippines, Mr. Chairman. I'm in full support of the budget. Kulang pa nga ho ito kasi hirap na hirap kami sa ROTC Games.
actually, Senator Tol, alam ko namang full support ka and of course, no, kapatid mo si ating POC chairman, si Bambol Tolentino, your older brother, older na lang. Kasi huwag niyong sasabihin na older siya, kung hindi, mag-o-object po siya sa inyong budget.
Of course, I defer to Kuya Bong always.
Senator Tol, wala problema. Alam kong support ka. Kahit saan ito si Senator Tol, pupunta ito SEA Games, FIBA, and of course sa Asian Games, pupunta po ito. May sarili rin po itong delegation. May sinusuportahan rin po siyang,
Kickboxing, pero
boxing.
hindi pa kami kasali
Hindi
ngayon.
sila kasama sa Asian
Hindi pa
Games.
ngayon.
But pupunta ka sa Asian Games to support.
Kung bibigyan po ako ng visa. Hindi ko alam kung bibigyan ako ng visa kasi ang pinag-uusapan namin kanina ni Chairman Bachman, yung ruta malayo pala to. So 1 hour from Shanghai. Baka sa
by train.
Baka sa West Philippines ako padaanin na mahirapan po ako.
Baka matulungan niyo po kami, Chairman Bachman, sa pag-secure po ng mga necessary papers, no?
Sige po.
We want to support our athletes.
Ano daw po, Mr. Chairman? 6 sites, 5 sites, iwa-iwalay. Malalayo.
5 locations po.
250 kilometers away.
Ganun kalayo.
Oo. So, siguro limited sports lang ang mapapanood. Opening, tsaka yung basketball siguro kung saan si
Opo.
Chairman Senator Bongo. But just the same, Mr. Chairman, for the record, full support po ako sa budget. Kulang pa nga ho ito at alam kong dadagdagan nyo.
Salamat sa suporta, the ever supportive Senator Tol Tultin.
Dinagdag ko lang po, Mr. Chairman, yung sports medicine.
Opo.
Kung madagdagan tayo ng doktor sa sports medicine.
Sir, baka matulungan niyo po sila sa budget. No, napansin ko kanina, tinanong ko nga ang pinropose nila ay about 3 billion, no? So ang inapprove sa ng DBM endorse about 200 million pa rin. Ganun po ang nangyayari. Last year, pag nag-endorse sila ng ganito, halos 10% lang ang na-approve ng DBM. So kailangan talaga ng suporta mo. At napapansin ko, yung mga pasilidad na pinakita kanina, talagang kailangan po ng the more we should invest dito sa sports facilities natin na sira na. Pakita nyo po, Chairman, yung mga roofing, no? Bigyan naman natin ng maayos at komportableng tirahan ng ating mga atleta. Instead na nananawagan po ako sa DPWH, instead na sa mga flood control na walang tao, dito na lang ninyo gamitin sa may mga atleta na kailangan nila ng komportableng tirahan man lang po. Ayan, no? Yun, zero. Baka pwede nyong mapaglaanan ng pondo. Tulungan po natin na yun. Okay. Kawawa yung mga atleta natin, sir. O dorm. Sa Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. At saka meron kayong sinuggest rin po before yung barracks ninyo, di ba? Sa dormitory ng field sports dyan po sa Pasig, na dapat po magkaroon sila ng maayos, malinis at komportableng dormitoryo naman po ang ating mga atleta. Senator Tol, baka po pwede natin itong
Pagtulungan
pagtulungan.
po natin, and I'm very supportive of PSC, who is the agency that is really pushing for the ROTC games. Na si Chairman Bachman has been there, including the new executive director. So malaking tulong. At Mr. Chairman, kayo po ang gagawin naming guest speaker sa opening ng, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, Luzon Leg. Nahirapan na ho kaming imbitahan kayo. For the record, iniimbitahan na namin kayo personally ngayon.
Full support at congratulations po sa inyong ROTC games,
Lagi
no?
po kami nasulat sa inyo.
Po. Very successful po yung dalawang ROTC games po sa Visayas, sa Iloilo at sa Zamboanga rin po, no? At meron pa siyang Miss ROTC na kasama rin po sa kanilang competition, at full support po tayo sa inyong ROTC games. Sabi ko nga, it's one way na ma-encourage po natin ang mga kabataan to get into sports, stay away from drugs, and to keep us disciplined, no? So,
Chairman, for the record, si Senator Padilla, who just arrived, naka-ROTC Games jacket.
Opo, would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Jinggoy Estrada, at of course bumalik na rin po si Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Senator Jinggoy, kailangan ho namin ng suporta ninyo rito. Pakita namin yung barracks, no, ng ating mga atleta sa Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, dormitory. Puro na po sira-sira, butas na yung bubong, at pati rin po sa field sports, dormitoryo po ng mga atleta natin. Baka pwede pong bigyan natin to ng priority. Kaysa naman po na nabanggit rin po ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla, sabi mo kanina, no, instead na gamitin sa mga flood control na wala namang katao-tao, baka pwede pong gamitin na lang po dito sa mga barracks na dormitoryo po ng mga atleta na may tao talagang siguradong gagamit, no?
Chairman, again, full support po. And then I'm asking permission to leave kasi may budget hearing pala ng DOST. Ako yung magpipreside. So, agad muna ako sa taas. Sa briefing pala, briefing. Thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Salamat po, Kuya Senator Tol Tolentino. Sir Jinggoy, do you have any opening statement?
I just came from another hearing. Being a sports enthusiast during my elementary days and high school days, and even now, I would support the position of the chairman of the Committee on Sports. Binawasan ba ito? Yung, yung budget ng PSC?
Usually, pinapropose nila 3 billion, ang ina-approve 200 million.
Oh.
Last year, ganun din, hanggang ngayon this year. Kasi meron din silang remittances na natatanggap sa, ano, sa PAGCOR, kaya parati.
How much are you receiving from PAGCOR?
For 2023, 1.2 billion po. Pero that goes to all the NSAs. In 2019, we only
How
had
do you divide yung binibigay ng PAGCOR? How do you divide yung pera?
yeah,
How do you
53.
divide it to all the NSAs?
Yes, ito yun, right? Ito yun, right?
Paolo, you're the son of Senator Kit, no?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We've been together before, right? Okay.
Sir, 22% of the budget from PAGCOR goes to athletes and coaches allowances. 5% goes to athletes and coaches incentives, retirement, and other benefits. 29% goes to PSC projects and other admin expenses. Financial assistance to NSA is 33%. Supplies and materials
33%.
expenses.
Is that distributed equally to all NSAs or meron mas mataas na?
Depending on the performance po of NSAs, the medals, how it's distributed. If it's an Olympic sport, if it's an individual or team sport,
What about boxing? Is it included in one of the NSAs?
yes po.
What do you call it? ABAP?
ABAP po.
Up to now, ABAP pa rin.
Yes po.
Are you giving more funding to the ABAP than to other NSAs?
Yes, because it's an Olympic sport, so
What NSA is receiving less? Which NSA?
top 40. So we do have 75 sports. So let's say a squash.
Because we do
soft
not excel.
tennis.
Because we do not excel in it. Is that the reason why you
It's
give
the
less?
starting and yung performance ng
Is that
sport.
an Olympic sport? Squash?
No.
What other NSAs are receiving less?
Madami dyan. So we do have soft tennis. We do have tennis.
Tennis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yung pinakamababa is duckpin, bowling, wakeboarding, cricket,
Duckpin bowling, all right?
skateboarding, motorcycle sports, bridge, golf, rugby.
Golf.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The funding for golf is 1 million?
1.2.
1.2 million.
Okay, who determines the amount to be given to the ABAP, for example?
Okay.
Yung mga Olympic sports.
When I came in as PSC chairman, basically, yung mga funding became historical data. Okay, and then they add. So when I came in, we created a matrix wherein you have Olympic sports and non-Olympic sports. You earn certain.
Okay, out of the how many NSAs do we have?
Right now, 75.
75. Out of the 75 NSAs, how many are Olympic sports and how many are not?
One moment, sir.
Oh, you should know that by heart.
The Olympic sports right now on Sen is that it's the Olympic sports is almost 46, and there are recognized
46 Olympic sports out of the 75
yes, sir.
NSAs.
And there are these are the regular members, and then there are
You just answer me. There are only 46 out of the 75. All
Yes,
right.
Yes.
So you give more importance to this 46 Olympic sports. You give more funding to them.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Boxing. What else? Hindi billiard, no?
But sir, we also have to distinguish if it's a self-sufficient NSA. Let's say in
What is,
boxing,
can you please define a self-sufficient NSA?
let's say boxing is sponsored by MVP Group.
All right.
So we have to distinguish that.
So you give less kasi meron nag-sponsor. All right. What
So
else?
MVP Group takes care of badminton, basketball, and what's this, boxing po. So we give less.
So boxing, basketball,
And badminton po.
badminton, the three sport. What else? Wala na.
Yeah,
So aside from these three sports, Olympic sports, ano yung pinakamalaking funding na nibibigay niya? Which NSA?
yeah. So we'll give you the top 10.
Okay, yung top 10. Tama.
Samahang SBP, 82 million. Philippine,
SBP?
yeah.
You give SBP?
Yeah.
Samahan Basketball Pilipinas? Huh?
Sorry, this is 2022 yun. So, sir, this is 2023. Patafa Athletics, that's number one,
How much?
30 million.
30.
Philippine Fencing Association, 25 million. PSI, Philippine Swimming, 19 million. Philsilat Sports Association, 19 million. Boxing, 19 million. Samahang Weightlifting sa Pilipinas, 18 million. Bowling Federation, 15 million. Triathlon, 15 million. Larong Hockey sa Pilipinas, 14 million.
Hockey?
Yeah. Philippine Amateur Baseball Association, 14 million. That's the top 10 po for 2023.
Okay, the least NSA? The least funding?
The least. Computer. The least funding would be DUCPIN, 147,750.
All right. Is the distribution of funding of the NSAs discretionary on the part of the PSC?
Yes, but there's also collaboration between the NSA. We do actually explain and discuss it with the NSA.
Who approves it? Do you approve it unilaterally or
Yeah, the PSC po.
including the board?
Yes po.
Unanimously.
Yes po.
All right. Okay. Dun sa mga fina-fund yung top 10 na sports, we are nearing the Olympics. When is the Olympics? Next year? And we only had one gold in history of the the Olympics. Am I correct? And how many silvers have we garnered? Two? In boxing, both in boxing. Okay. Among the top 10 fund that is receiving funding from the PSC, yung pinamalaking funds na binibigay nyo sa kanila, what sport do you expect us to have a or to have a medal? Not only gold, maybe bronze or silver in the top 10 NSAs that you mentioned.
Yes, for the Asian Games.
What are the prospects of us having another gold medal
We'll,
under your leadership?
yeah, for the Asian Games, we're looking at
No, I'm talking about the
Olympics. So for the Olympics, it's basically gymnastics.
Oh, did you mention gymnastics there?
Yeah.
The top 10?
Yes po.
Okay, how much do they receive? How much funding do they receive from you?
Wala dito.
27.
Sir, 27 million as of
27 million only.
Yes.
That's top what? Top 9?
Yeah.
Top 9 only?
Yeah.
And yet we are expecting our athletes to produce medals for us. Do you think that is sufficient enough?
To be honest, sir, no, sir.
Mhm.
We,
Who athletes in gymnastics do you expect us to have a gold medal? Si Yulo.
si Carlos Yulo po.
Only Yulo.
And then we also have one this Philham who will participate in Asian Games.
Okay, aside from the gymnastics, what else?
You have weightlifting, sir, and
Yeah.
EJ
Is Heidelin still competing
Yes.
in this coming Olympics? Next year by Olympics?
Yes, yes po.
What about Paul Volt? Paul Volt,
Yeah, he'll be qualifying he qualified already in the Olympics, so he'll be
nasa top
participating.
10 ba yan sa, ano?
Yes po.
How much do they
Number one
receive?
yata.
Di ba meron reklamo to si EJ Obiana? If my memory serves me right.
Number 3 po, 38 million.
Di ba may reklamo to before? Can you educate me?
Uh,
Hindi raw binabayaran coaches, tama ba yan?
I think that was before my time, pero that was a liquidation issue on EJ Obiana.
It has been settled already.
Yes po, we settled it
Alright.
already.
So you expect him to produce medals for us?
Yes po, wala nang problema with EJ.
What else? Pole vault, gymnast,
Weightlifting is still
Gymnastic,
there. Heidelin is
weightlifting.
trying to qualify, and then your boxers, of course.
boxing.
Yeah.
All right. You think Manny Pacquiao will participate in the coming Olympics? Because I talked to him last week. He was interested because that was his dream, his childhood dream when he was a budding boxer. He told me
Yeah.
he confided to me, but he was rejected dahil hindi raw siya marunong. He was rejected by I don't know what sport, maybe ABAP. He was rejected by ABAP.
They mentioned, sir, when I watched the FIBA World, he is interested in joining also. Pero hindi ko alam kung ano.
What are the chances? Of course, malaki chance natin.
Pero that would be the POC part po, hindi yung PSC.
But do you think we can produce a first gold medal in boxing if former Senator Manny will participate?
I
For
would,
sure?
yeah, I would think so.
Despite of his age.
Well, depending sa condition niya po, I would think so.
All right. I have no other further questions, but I will fully support whatever our chairman says with regard to the budget of PSC. Since I am a basketball fanatic ever since.
Sir, sa Mayor's Cup, kalaban tayo po.
Hindi ka naman manalo sa amin.
No comment po.
Anyway, thank you very much, Senator Go. Thank you very much.
Salamat, Senator Jingo Estrada. Senator Robin Padilla, do you have any? Support daw siya. So, Chairman Clarin, pwede po nating marinig ang inyong presentations. Salamat.
Thank you po to the Honorable Senator Christopher Bongo, Chairperson for Committee on Sports, to Senator Jingo Estrada, and to Senator Robin Hood Padilla, avid supporter po ng sports, and to Senator Francis Tolentino, who was here earlier ago. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. It is my honor to present to you, to your honors, the mandates and proposed budget for 2024 for Games and Amusements Board. First, the mandate of the Games and Amusements Board is to regulate and supervise professional sports and allied activities and to combat and prevent the existence and proliferation of illegal bookie joints and other forms of organized illegal gambling connected with all play-for-pay sports and amusements games. GAB's vision is to develop promising and world-class professional athletes fit for all aspects of competition and to establish a solid foundation of professional sports mechanisms that will determine the achievements of present and future sports athletes. The mission of GAB is to the enrichment of Philippine professional sports in all its aspects through competent regulations and supervision, and the promotion of character building to be inculcated among sports professionals for the love of their family and country. The Games and Amusements Board supervises and regulates the following professional sports. Under boxing and other contact sports, we have boxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. For professional sports and other professional games, we have basketball, 3-on-3 basketball, volleyball, chess, esports, golf, football, billiards, cycling, darts, jet ski, triathlon, motocross, and hayalay. The supervision and regulation also includes a betting aspect of horse racing and international derbies or sabong. For GAB, the permits and licenses issued so far from January to June of this year is for licenses it's 5,871, and for the permits we already issued total of 733 permits for professional sporting events. For the revenue target of GAB for this year, which is 17,395,000, as early as June of this year, we already obtained 16,758,339 and 40 centavos, which definitely surpasses the year's revenue target as early as August of this year. Let me share to you the plans and advocacies of GAB for the year 2023. It is to promote, professionalize, and protect professional athletes and professional sports. In terms of promoting our athletes, we support new professional sports and leagues. We elevate the status of professional athletes, stakeholders by partnering with private establishments for discounts and benefits. We coordinate with local government units for events and promotions, and we partner with the Philippine embassies in other countries to seek assistance to athletes competing abroad. As far as professionalization of sports and athletes goes, we professionalize more sports. We also update rules, regulations of different professional sports up there with international standards. And we provide seminars and trainings for sports science and nutrition, among others, and capability building relative to financial literacy, career trainings, and the like. As far as protection of our athletes and pro events goes, we protect the integrity of sports by closely monitoring rank status of athletes and official conduct of sporting events against game fixing, point shaving, and we do also random drug testing to make sure that the athletes and the events are safe. Also, we protect the health, safety, and welfare of the professional athletes. We also coordinate with the Department of Labor and Employment to monitor compliance by stakeholders of labor and employment laws. We coordinate with the Department of Social Welfare and Development for minor age athletes, especially for esports. And we do financial assistance through the Boxers Welfare Fund. I would like to share the milestones of what we had done so far for GAB for this year. As far as the promotion goes, we tie up with private sectors and businesses to make sure that all our athletes are given additional benefits comparable to PSC. And GAB and the Department of Tourism also collaborated to boost the sports tourism industry in the country. Also, GAB and National Museum also aligned for possible collaboration to create or have a sports museum for our living legends. And the GAB also joined the Kaibigan and other exhibits to make sure that there's information dissemination on what GAB can do to help our athletes. Aside from that, we have discussions with champions and notable athletes, leagues, promoters to see what we can do and see what else we can do to help our athletes and the promoters. Also, we partner with different organizations of ring officials in boxing, MMA, under contact sports, and also pro sports to make sure that we hear them out for their issues so that we could ably and promptly address these issues for the betterment of the sport and for the protection of the athletes. And also, we go as far as Mindanao to discuss and professionalize other sports to include karate and other contact sports. Aside from that, we accompany fighters fighting abroad to make sure that we give them moral and other needed support when fighting or entering into professional sports abroad. And also, as far as horse racing goes, we support PhilRacom to make sure that the racing are held successfully and with the integrity to boot. Also, we met with organizations of local officials to help promote our athletes within Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao areas as well. Insofar as professionalization of sports goes, we partner with Association of Ringside Physicians to make sure that we empower all GAB licensed ring physicians with essential knowledge to better protect the health and safety of our athletes. And we also conduct seminars to make sure that we elevate the expertise of the ring officials and other officials officiating the different sports being regulated by the Games and Amusements Board. We also met with heads of the sanctioning bodies abroad to discuss best practices for boxing and other contact sports, to include the IBF President Daryl Peoples and WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman. Aside from those, we met with other pro sports and game stakeholders, to include the UAAP, PGAP Professional Golfers Association of the Philippines, Filipino billiards legend, also Efren Bata Reyes. We met with him to discuss the future of professional billiards in the Philippines. We also discussed with Professional Chess Association of the Philippines, PCAP, and new and budding esports league through the Philippine National Esports League, PINEL. Right now, we have newly accredited professional leagues, namely Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League and PBL, Pilipinas Super League, PSL, and Filipino Basketball League, PhilBasket. In the future, GAB would like to also professionalize, supervise, and regulate surfing, go-karting, badminton, bowling, men's volleyball, and women's basketball, to name a few. Insofar as the protection of the professional athletes go, we signed memorandum of understanding between professional boxing sanctioning organizations, especially with Japan Boxing Commission and WBC Asian Boxing Council. Also, we signed declaration of commitment and memorandum of understanding to promote safe, fair, and transparent professional boxing in between GAB and Asian Boxing Organization, including the countries of Vietnam, Japan, Korea, and China. We also did courtesy visit to Philippine embassies abroad to maintain close coordination with Filipino boxers fighting abroad. Aside from this, GAB and DOLE teamed up to empower our Filipino professional athletes by addressing their financial needs and safeguarding their well-being. We also collaborated with Pag-ibig to empower Filipino professional athletes, financial well-being, and their benefits and financial literacy. And GAB also signed a memorandum of agreement with SSS for the inclusion of even the job or the GO employees of the agency to be included with the SSS benefits. Aside from this, we also partnered with the DILG Secretary Abalos and the DOJ Secretary Remulla for free legal aid. And lastly, to make sure that our athletes are safe, we partnered with Southern Philippine Medical Center and Cebu South Medical Center, among other government and accredited hospitals, to make sure that our professional athletes have free medical treatments. Also, the goal of the mandate of the Games and Amusement Board is to regulate and supervise. We added another mandate, which is to support our athletes. And together with this support to our athletes, we're providing distribution of vitamins C and other supplements to all our professional athletes. Also, as far as elevating the legal status of the Games and Amusements Board goes, we have a pending bill in Congress right now, wherein the focal point of the bill is to make sure that there's an athletes welfare fund to support the financial needs of our ailing athletes. With that, Your Honor, the Games and Amusement Board has proposed a budget of 147,243,000, which is less by at least 9 million from the past budget, which was 156,660,000, Your Honor. And the proposed budget is divided into personal services, MMOE, and capital outlay. Also, the diminution in the budget from last year and this year is largely due in part to the Philippine Summit, which was not conducted last year. However, even though we don't have the budget now, GAB has decided to implement or to still pursue the Philippine Professional Sports Summit of 2003 to be held this September 29 and 30, Your Honor. And again, we would like to welcome you and invite you, Your Honor, to be the guest speaker for the September 19 to our Philippine Professional Sports Summit. With this, I thank you, Your Honor.
Nagkasabay pa naman sa Asian Games.
Sa China.
Sana hindi mo sinabay sa Asian Games yung summit mo kasi yung mga natin, yung mga athletes, pag-aralan yung mabuti kung ano nyo pa. Kasi halos wala yung mga natin. But anyway, it's professional sports pero
Yes, sir.
katulad ko, as your chairman sa Committee on Sports, gusto kong pumunta rin to support our athletes. May tanong lang po, no? Nakita ko rito, for the record lang. na meron kayo nung 2023 na confidential funds, no? Na 4 million sa 2023 and sa proposed NEP. Saan po ang paggagamitan niyo nito? At nagagamit niyo ba ito?
Yes, Your Honor, the 4 million. Good afternoon,
I
Senator.
would like to acknowledge the presence of our Majority Floor Leader, Senator Joel Villanueva. Another very supportive na atleta rin po, no? Nabanggit natin kanina, Majo, yung ating hosting, no, ng FIBA na napakadisiplinado. At tayo mismo sumunod sa lahat ng kanilang rules and regulations kahit na tayo'y mga spectators na sobrang stricto sila nung panahon ng atleta. Halos hindi nga, hirap nga kami magpa-picture eh.
Bathroom ka, bawal.
Mabawal. So, sabi ko kung may disiplina at maging organized tayo, ay kaya po natin na maging successful po ang ating mga sporting events. And anyway, going back kay Attorney Clarin, dun sa tanong natin na saan po nagagamit itong confidential funds ninyo at may propose po, nagagamit ba ito sa inyong anti
Illegal gambling unit,
illegal
Your Honor.
gambling campaign?
Thank you, Your Honor. As chairman po ng Games and Amusements Board, under the law, I'm also tasked to be the chairman of the Anti-Illegal Gambling Unit. What we do is to really combat or prevent the proliferation po ng mga illegal bookies. So ito pong 4 million na to, in order to combat the illegal bookies, napakaliit po ng amount na yan. Pero we utilize that po.
Salamat, no? At gusto ko lang po marinig, andiyan pa rin po ba yung mga nababalitaan natin noon na mga game fixing sa professional games, especially kami, no, passion namin na basketball. Sobrang hilig natin at gusto natin na mapanood talaga kung ano yung tamang laro, tamang resulta. Tapos pagtingin mo, iba na ang resulta. Na ano nyo ba ito? Nalalabanan nyo ba itong mga game fixing? Dahil nakakasira po ito sa tulad ng kami, passion natin na sports. Tapos makikita mo lang, sisirain lang yung laro through game fixing. Nalalabanan nyo ba ito? Naka-curb nyo ba ito?
Hopefully, yes, Your Honor. Actually, very aggressive po ang ating mga liga, ang PBA po, ang MPBL. So under the direction po ni Commissioner Kenneth Deremdes po ng MPBL at saka ni Commissioner Willie Marshall po ng PBA, we coordinate pagka po nakikita namin na yun nga po, parang napapansin nila na parang meron something doon sa it's either the game or the player or the results or the scores of the game. Meron po silang internal mechanism to check for this, and as soon as they find na meron pong abnormality, we discuss po and we investigate. And ang problema lang po, it's really hard to find concrete evidence for it to stand in court. Pero nakikita naman po nila na parang pagka po may mga abnormalities doon sa playing po or sa stats nung certain professional basketball player or the results of the game, we discuss and definitely we follow through.
Go ahead, Senator Joel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm supposed to be back in the other hearing behind us for the DOTR. First of all, let me say good afternoon to everyone, to our resource persons. Of course, we know Chairman Bachman back in the days. I mean, who doesn't know him, right? Attorney Clarin and the rest of us here, especially our athletes. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for calling this hearing. And let me state for the record that this representation is in very much full support with regard to your budget. Although I'm a little bit sad that masyadong maliit yung mga nakikita kong figures dito. And as you may know, last year, this representation, together with our chair, together with Senator Angara, made a lot of initiatives. Hindi ko na iisa-isahin. Baka sabihin, magpapapogi pa tayo dito. But I'm sure you know about it. Ito lang Asian Games na darating, about 50 million yung inad natin dyan. with regard to this particular issue that we're talking about ng illegal gambling, may we know how many illegal gambling cases in professional sports and amusement games were recorded in your office, Attorney Clarin?
Thank you for the question, Your Honor. So far, Your Honor, from January to August, we already filed cases. We already arrested and filed cases for a total of 87 individuals who are involved in illegal gambling.
That's individuals, but the cases, is it the same? 87 also? 87 cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because per individual.
Yes, Your Honor.
I agree with you. It's very hard to determine or actually yung basis, no? But and this is for my education as well. I've been a basketball fanatic. Basketball actually paid for my tuition fee. I was an athletic scholar in high school and in college. We were part of the national team of the Philippines that went to the first ever SEABA, Southeast Asian Basketball Games in 1994. That was the first SEABA in Johor, Malaysia. I represented the country twice in international competition. And I don't want to say this, but when I was in grade school, I was watching Dicky Bachman, Mr. Chairman. I was watching them play against different countries in Asian countries. In the Southeast Asian Games, he was part of our RP youth team. My cousin, my first cousin, Bobby Jose, was part of the team. So I was kind of engaged and somehow got inspired. But, you know, sir, just for my education, it's very easy to realize that something is going on, something really fishy. Like when I and together with Senator Bongo watched that video against these two teams competing in the MPBL na you're a basketball player, somehow a professional basketball player, couldn't even hit the ring and taking a free throw shot. And then here you are taking a fast break, lay up ka, hindi tatama ng ring all the way to the board. Parang, yung mga ganon, no, sir? I don't know. I don't even know the answer to my question. But hindi ba ito'y parang sukdulang pagbebenta ng laro na, ewan ko, if I'm a judge and then knowing that these players are practicing every single day, ang dali i-figure out, no? Patama nga yung mga iba mahirap kasi, di ba, nasa basketball community po tayo, marami na tayong naririnig. Believe me, kung 100, 200 lang na games yung nalaman ko na may nangyari. Even, you know, mga nasa professional, naririnig din natin lahat yan, no? I know it's hard, pero meron din na talagang tinitingnan mo pa lang yung kanan tumira, biglang lefty na. Tapos sabi, biglang nasira daw yung finger niya. No? So, gusto ko lang malaman, sir, itong mga bagay na to, na nako-consider nyo ba to, na imbestigahan and with that, you know, you as an instinct of a true basketball player, an athlete, you know that something's going on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Siguro as a professional athlete, I leave it to Chairman Bachman, but as a lawyer po and as the chairman of the Games and Amusement Board, medyo tama po kayo, napakahirap po kasing kumuha na ebidensya. Again, kasi sa atin po kasi, you need proof beyond reasonable doubt in order to try criminal cases. And may shadow of a doubt as always. Yung iba nga po, tama po kayo, atleta may sakit, off yung game niya, yung mga ganyan po puyat or may problema daw sa pamilya. Pero it adds up eh. Pero ang kagandahan po nito, if the league owners po, katulad ng mga PBA and PBL, are, you know, really bent on talagang curving this illegal activities, kaya naman po, kung hindi naman po natin mapafailan ng kaso, there are other disciplinary measures that they can impose as owners po ng league. And sa Games and Amusement din po, since we issue licenses po, we also have the quasi-judicial power to suspend licenses.
Chairman, katulad ng PBA, no, ako, PBA fan ako since 1983. Mahal na mahal ko yung PBA at salamat sa iyong suporta sa Philippine Basketball Association. And until now, talagang nanonood ako. At nakikita ko lang minsan na nawawala yung balanse, no? Importante dyan, balanse, competition, at doon nagkakaroon ng interest pag maganda yung laban. Dumadaan ba sa inyo yung, for example, approval ng mga trades? Hindi na, no? Sa GAB.
Hindi na po.
How about sa mga atleta natin na sa mga drug test, requirement nyo ba? Part ng requirement nyo yan?
Your Honor, before you get licensed, talaga magpapamedicals po kayo. Pero during the game po, we also do random drug testing to make sure that during the activities of the boxers, during the league season po, siguraduhin natin na wala pong gumagamit ng illegal drugs.
Maganda yun, no? Katulad nung ginawa sa kapulisan, di ba? Na binigla nila. Lalong-lalo na po yung random drug test. Magandang inisyatibo po yun para malaman natin at hindi makapaghanda. At ayaw natin na mapasukan yung mga atleta natin, mga nasa gobyerno ng illegal drugs. So, dahil yan ang gusto nating ipagpatuloy, yung kampanya na labanan po ang illegal na droga. Kaya nga po tayo ay get into sports at stay away from drugs and to keep us healthy and fit. At another, yung issue about the game fixing, yun po ang sanang bantayan nyo ng mabuti. At mahirap pag napasok niyan, mawawala yung ganda ng laro. Nakita ko talaga yung FIBA, well organized, naging balanse. Kita nyo, yung mga hindi natin in-expect na manalo, sila yung mananalo. So yung suporta ng tao, ang credibility po ng liga ay napakaganda. So Senator Jover?
Sir, I agree, no? Mahirap i-prove beyond reasonable doubt because as a basketball player, when you practice every day, there are times na off-game, alam na alam ni Sir Dicky, off-game ka, pero yung iba kasi talagang unbelievable na, oh my God, why are you doing that? I mean, as a basketball player, you already know that something's going on. But anyway, of course, itong mga illegal activities na ito, especially illegal gambling, I don't know, it's not just in person but also online. My next question would be, are you looking into this? Are you coordinating with NBI, for instance, NBI Cybercrime Division to apprehend and make sure that these perpetrators online would be caught? At least meron tayong deterrent initiative.
Yes, Your Honor. Dalawa po kasi yung ginagawa natin programa pagdating sa Anti-Illegal Gambling Unit. One is to make sure that we support the legal gambling. Kasi po pag mas marami po yung mga legal na may-ari po ng mga gambling sites po, they will police themselves, they will protect themselves, and they will weed out po yung mga illegal bookies. That's one. Number two po is we have the full support po ng NBI and PNP, especially pagka po sa Anti-Cybercrime Division at ang CIDG po. Pagdating po doon sa proliferation po ng online na illegal gambling. Ang problema lang po nito kasi online po siya, napakarami po talaga nilang nagagawa. If we take down one site, parang ang dami po nilang ibang sites eh. So now we are even tapping the help of the social media people, mga influencers, kasi parang sinasabi po natin, meron po kasing may mga online na mga social media groups. We were requesting that if ang alam nila doon sa social media site nila, doon sa grupo nila, may gumagawa ng illegal, na to block them or to push them out of the website. So basically, tulong-tulong po tayo.
That's the reason why here in the Senate we are supporting the modernization and improvement of our cybercrime division. It's just that we wanted to make sure that it's going to be used properly, and of course matulungan din yung sports. You know, sir, I'm against all forms of gambling, be it legal or illegal. I don't think it helps our young people, especially that we are saying it's important na magsipag, magtiyaga, etc. But here you are, nagpo-promote ka ng gambling, and it's a different issue, of course, but I just wanted to put that on record. Yung PAGCOR, tayo lang ang bansa sa buong mundo na hindi lang regulator, bankero pa. Saan ka nakakita ng gano'n? And panawagan din sa PAGCOR, hanggang ngayon di binibigay yung share ng PSC na 5-6%, if I'm not mistaken. And I have been raising that issue every single year, no, unfortunately, and this is for our athletes. I was part once, twice of the Philippine team, and I know how it is there when there's not much support from the government. One last issue that I'd like to raise on the Games and Amusement Board. As I mentioned, I'm not a fan of gambling. I think gambling is for lazy people who doesn't want to work hard. You cannot depend on the game of chance, and it is a bad, really bad lesson that you are sharing with your young people who happens to be the hope of our nation to stop working hard and just gamble and just depend on the game of chance. And with that saying, may I just ask the Games and Amusement Board the difference between, I'm a little bit confused, the license, giving licenses and permit being issued by the Games and Amusement Board for activities such as cockfighting and the betting aspect of horse racing. We'd just like to figure out, again, it's there already, and all we wanted to do is to make sure that we are regulating it well, and the government regulation is working. So wanted to find out the difference and perhaps the requirements for securing licenses and permits, sir. Please.
Thank you for your honor. We only regulate po dalawang betting aspect po pagdating sa Games and Amusements Board. One is the off-track betting or the betting part of horse racing. Ito po yung mga OTBs natin, hindi po ito online, mga makina po ito. So yan lang po yung nire-regulate natin, the racing aspect po, the integrity of the...
Online, hindi talaga.
Ano po, mga OTBs po. Off-track betting po yung mga sa Games and Amusements Board. Pagdating naman po sa regulations po nung horse racing mismo, it is with the PhilRacom po. Another one, yes po, sa PhilRacom. So OTBs lang po ang nililisensyahan po natin. We make sure that the physical locations of these off-track betting machines are far away from schools and churches po. Yan po. Second aspect po ng betting pagdating po sa Games and Amusement Board would be the international derbies only. Ano po mga international derbies? So hindi po ito sakop po yung ano natin po, yung mga local cockfighting po natin, which is under the municipalities and city government through the local government code.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now I realize nasa ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan yung responsibility for that. Bago kita pawalan, just to put on record, last year, this representation requested, I was approached by Gab then, and tumulong tayo. Ang dami nating naitulong dito. 3 ambulansya, rehabilitation, cabling system, etc. I can go on and on, Pero nung isang araw, nakakita ako sa isang social media na... Sana yun? Nakita lang ako sa isang... Na-encounter ko yung sa isang social media. Pinakita yung 3 ambulansya na ako yung nagpondo, tapos nakalagay, nakapark lang, bakit hindi ginagamit? Kawawa naman ang ating mga athletes. Of course, I don't know if this is a raw information, just to put that on record. I don't even know if it is true or... Pero ang nakikita ko lang is picture ng 3 ambulansya, maganda, malinis, makinis, at yun nga, I don't know kung nagamit na ito or hindi. Just wanted to follow up, kasi tayo yung initiative natin ito So,
thank you, Your Honor. Maraming salamat po sa pagbibigay suporta po sa GAB. Maraming salamat po sa pagdodonate po ng mga ambulansya para po magamit ng ating professional athletes. Nagagamit po lahat ng mga ambulansya natin. Yung isa pong ambulansya dinagay natin sa Visayas, one in Mindanao. So baka yan po nakaparada lang siya. Bago po pala i-utilize ang mga ambulances, kailangan accredited po yung mga well-trained, yung mga pati po yung ambulance rider, pati po yung mga personnel. So na-accredit na po sila lahat. Tapos lahat po yan ay nagagamit na po sa tulong niyo po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I may continue, Mr. Chair, with the Philippine Sports Commission, siguro tanungin lang natin, sir, yung Sir Jiki, yung preparations natin for Paris Olympics, preparation natin itong in 2 weeks ba itong ating yung competition dito sa China, yung Asian Games and Asian Para Games, sir?
Yes, Asian Games this September 25. We've been coordinating with the committee from POC and also PSC. So we're actually discussing now on the uniforms are done, and then now we're talking about the airfare and transportation of the athletes to China. Pero,
And then yung Paris Olympics, nakita natin after matalo yung US, mag-change lineup sila, puro superstars yung padadala. Siguro yung Philippines, dapat sama na si Chairman Bongo para may shooter tayo.
Waterboy.
Sir, Paris
know.
Olympics.
Yeah, I know for the Paris Olympics, EJ Obiena already qualified. And then si Heidelin is still trying to actually qualify, while Carlos Yulo also is going to qualify.
Right now, we had about how many athletes or sports events na tinitignan natin will be able to qualify in the Olympics?
Maybe around your boxing, your weightlifting, your gymnastics, and your pole vault, EJ Obiena. So around 4 to 5.
Speaking of EJ, tapos na yung ano dito, no, yung drama nito kasi
Tapos na po, inayos na po natin.
mabuti naman. So, can I ask that question? How does PSC determine which athlete or group of athletes will be given government support and aid to represent our country? Of course, any given time, laging kulang yung pondo, no? So, I know it's a great challenge, but how do you do that?
Based on, we do have a matrix on how we fund NSAs or sports. If it's an Olympic sport or if it's a non-Olympic sport, if it's an individual sport, if it's a team sport. Also, if it's a kumbaga, self-sustained NSA or non-self-sufficient NSA. So we do have a matrix when we allocate our budget to all the NSAs. And part of that also is performance. If they have medals in the Southeast Asian Games, Asian Games, and then also if they have a grassroots program or is it a well-managed NSA, that's where we,
I asked that question because I remember when we had our guest here, yung FIFA Women's World Cup, Senator Bong, di ba? They were saying yung Filipinas team, yung Philippine Football Federation, they were saying they requested a budget from the government to support them. Tapos parang it appears that there was no or barely minimal support, financial assistance that were given to them. Sad lang eh. I know limited yung funds and that's why I keep on pounding on PAGCOR to deliver or at least comply with our law, no, na masuportahan yung ating sports program.
It was budgeted for the FIFA women's team, while it is budgeted, they actually have to submit a request. And when that came out in social media a week after, they submitted the request for funding. So PSC actually gave 18 million for the FIFA World, and then they gave also 10 million for the Southeast Asian Games. So total of 28 for the year po.
Thank you. So hindi naman na zero, no, sir? Just to put on record. One last issue. They've been calling me to go back in another room. Yung status po nung I remember during last budget deliberation of this commission, the PSC said that it plans to review and streamline the benefits and incentives being received by our athletes, coaches, etc. And there are plans to create a pension plan for all national athletes. Just wanted to put on record that this representation filed Senate Bill number 932 or the Bayaning Atletang Pilipino Act, which seeks to provide national athletes continued support through lifetime emolument and material benefits, including life pension and trainings, among others. So just wanted to ask kung ano na yung status, development nitong proposed pension plan for our national athletes, sir? If there's anyone who can, please, thank you.
Sen, right now, the PAC has no program because it's not in the law under the incentives law. But there is a possibility because of your...
Not because there's no law, you cannot do something about it, sir.
Right now, sir, under the PAC law, what we are giving them, in fact, there are pension plan based on the administrative order of President Baldel Ramos at the time. We have 20 pensioners, but these are the medalists in Olympics and the Asian Games only. So with your proposal, Sen, I think it will enhance and together with the other athletes that will benefits with this proposal.
So far, magkano yung budget for that? The 20 pension every year. So just to get the ballpark figure and how we can start the ball rolling. Imagine like the likes of Heidelin, di ba? Parang gave the very first gold medal for our country.
Yes, sir. We will check with
Sige,
the
provide na lang to the committee kasi medyo nagmamadali.
One example is si Mambong Ku. She receives like 2,500 pesos a month from pension.
2,500.
Yes, po.
I think the highest. Sir, the highest is 10,000 paing, and I think sila Commissioner Bongko, Chairman.
Yeah.
10,000 pesos.
Sige po, I mean, that's how we value our national treasure in the country. It pains me a lot to hear that, but I hope we can do more, and that's the reason why we are here. And again, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for serving our country, especially our athletes. Salute. Nandito pala yung ating member ng Philippine Women sa football, ma'am. Thank you. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman, and full support siguro if there's anything we can do, give us your wish list. So we can,
Senator Joel, malaki po ang may tutulong nyo rito. No? Tulad kanina, pinakita yung litrato ng Rizal Memorial Complex, yung sira na po yung mga...
that's very historical for me.
Kaya nga,
I go to Rizal Memorial Park every single day at 6 in the morning. I have to practice at 6 in the morning. I have to run dun sa Rizal Stadium and have to leave my province in Bulacan at about 4:30 in the morning every day. So very memorable sa akin. In fact, I was one of the most vocal objectionist
sir,
during that time when it was rumored that it's going to be demolished, di ba?
yung dormitoryo po nila, sir, dilapidated na po. Talagang sira na. Pati sa field sports, yung dormitoryo nila, walang komportable
I
tirahan.
suggest, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors, siguro by face kasi mahirap din naman sabihin na one time ganito, di ba? Maybe by face. May
Yeah.
5 taon pa po ako dito. Si Senator Bongo marere-elect pa another 6 years. So may kakampi po kayo dito. Let's work on it, sir.
Yeah, we submitted for the
Let's-
by phases up to 2026 po.
Oh, magkano yung just ballpark
Sobrang
figure?
dilapidated na po yung nila, yung roofing
So
ng Rizal Memorial Complex. You know,
Siyempre yung dorm,
Yeah,
napakahalaga.
so we asked about close to 3.7 billion for all the facilities. That's Baguio, Field Sports, and Rizal Memorial. Yeah,
One BH probably.
yeah.
sobra. No? Sabi ko nga, baka instead na gamitin sa ibang projects, Senator Joel, matulungan natin.
Yung mga gamot sa DOH na bulok lang.
Kesa masayang. Ito, may tao talagang titira dito. Andiyan yung atleta natin. Diba mga athletes, baka gusto nyo magsalita, mag-appeal while nandito po ang ating kasamahan. Sige, go ahead. Since nagsalita ng inyong chairman, kayo naman, kayo ang importante rito. Kayo ang hero during competitions. So, go ahead po, mga athletes. Well, nandito pa ang ating atletang majority floor leader.
Meron kayo na anyone here na tumira po doon sa dorm? Kayo po, sir?
Good afternoon po ulit, sir. Yes po, sir. Sa Rizal po kami nakabiliting po ngayon.
Doon kayo? Nakatira ngayon? So yun ang quarters mo ngayon? Yung pinakitang picture na yun, ayan? Diyan kayo?
Opo, sir. Sa yung left side. Yan po yung dorm po namin.
It's mostly metal bunk beds na tumutulo yun, yung ceiling, not much water in the bathrooms, no closets. So their clothing is nakasampay sa bunk
Chairman,
beds.
hihingi ako ng picture na yan.
Senator Joel, actually, ang nangyayari, budget proposal nila, it's about 3 billion. And then na-approve is 200 million lang.
I saw it. It's
So-
about 10% of your 2023 budget.
Ganun po ang nangyayari. Even last year, more or less 200 million. And then tayo po ang nagdagdag during amendments. So para madagdagan po yung kanilang pondo. Question lang po, isisingit ko lang. Yung nilagay po natin na karagdagang pondo po dun sa hosting ng FIBA World Cup, no? Ang tanong ko lang po, dahil ayaw natin na may masayang na pondo po ng gobyerno, how did the PSC monitor the utilization of the funds?
Well, I'm in close coordination with the FIBA LOC. So 100% of the fund for FIBA LOC was transmitted to the SBP. And now I'm asking also, reminded the SB to start liquidating po. They already have liquidated some of the expenses po.
174 out of 1 sir.
Oh, yeah.
174.
Uh,
So 174 sir. Ang
Is what?
liquidate.
From the 1 billion as of to date, only 17% was liquidated already po. Ongoing pa yung balance ng liquidation.
Salamat, no? Importante ma-account po yung pondo at walang masayang. Anyway, athletes, ako naman full support ako sa inyo. In fact, kanina ko pa lahat ng pumapasok dito ng mga senador ay pinapakita ko yung pictures ng dilapidated na po na inyong dormitoryo at sana matulungan po nila na mabigyan po kayo ng komportableng tirahan man lang while nagtitraining. Yun naman po ang ating layunin dito, na suportahan po ang ating mga atleta para sa gayon ay walang rason na hindi nyo po ibigay ang inyong todo during competitions. As your chairman sa Committee on Sports, in my own small capacity, ay gagawin ko po ang lahat sa abot ng aking makakaya para suportahan po ang ating mga atleta. Anyway, some few questions na lang po. Ano po yung assessment natin sa 2023 SEA Games, no? Napansin ko medyo sa daming sports events na minomonitor ng PSC ay parang kulang yung inyong tao, yung personnel ninyo to monitor all. And of course, kailangan talaga rito yung ating mga nakatutok, ang ating mga sports association, ang ating kanya-kanya naman. Napansin ko, yun ang napansin ko during sa SEA Games. Kanya-kanya, nakatutok yung POC, yung sports NSA sa kanilang mga atleta. Kayo naman dito sa taas. If I may suggest, more medyo kulang pa yung, or maybe kulang lang talaga ang tao ng inyong ng PSC na mapadala rin doon. And moving forward dito po sa ating Asian Games na gagawin po, malapit na sa katapusan ng buwan, ay kumusta po, ilan po ang atletang magpa-participate? Mas kukonti naman to compared to SEA Games, no? Ilan po? At kumusta po ang inyong preparation? At isisingit ko na rin po with respect rin po sa 2024 Paris Olympics. Kumusta rin po ang preparation? Ilan atleta bang ipapadala at maaring mag-qualify dito sa Paris Olympics? Sana malampasan natin yung ating na-achieve na 1 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze na sa ating minimithing gold ay nakamtan natin. Sana po ay maulit pa ito and more, even more sa Paris Olympics. Malaking karangalan po ito sa ating bansa, yung nakuhang mga medals natin during the last Olympics.
Yes, for the Asian Games, close to 400 athletes will be participating in the Asian Games. And for the delegation, a total of close to 600 plus the whole delegate for the Asian Games. Now, we submitted, you mentioned about yung mga tao ng PSC na pupuntang support for the athletes. we submitted a list of the PSC personnel to go to the Asian Games, and we're just waiting for feedback from POC kung sino ang mag-approve. Now, with regards to medical MSAS, I've decided to have our own, since 5 locations in sa China, I decided to bring our own staff already para may mini medical team for the athletes and to bring all our machines to support the athletes. For the Olympics, continuing support to all the athletes for their training, and we're waiting for the final list of sinong approval of the POC kung sinong pupunta sa Olympics. So far, it is EJ Obiena going to the Olympics, and we're expecting Carlos Yulo and Heidelin to also and Heidelin actually to make the qualifying for the Olympics. And hopefully Gilas, because they have one last window to qualify.
Wala naman pong wala na po sigurong additional questions ang aking mga kasamahan. At ulitin ko lang po, una full support po ako sa Philippine Sports Commission, sa ating Games and Amusement Board. Basta gamitin nyo lang po yung pondo ng gobyerno, pondo ng tao sa tama at walang masasayang na pondo. At unahin po natin ang kapakanan ng ating mga atleta. Tulungan po natin sila. Importante naman dito yung pag nagsama po ang gobyerno at ang private sector. Wala naman pong imposible na panahon. Kulang talaga ang pondo ng gobyerno. In fact, yung panahon ni Heidelin Diaz, naghanap rin po ako ng sponsor noon. Hindi pa siya naka-gold noon, panahon yun. Hanap ako ng sponsor. Kahit pa paano nakatulong po sa kanya at nakamtan rin po natin ang ating minimithing elusive na gold medal. Finally, meron po tayong gold medal. At ngayon sa preparation nyo po sa Paris Olympics for next year, pag-usapan lang po natin kung ano pang maitutulong ko as your chairman sa Committee on Sports. Dapat po maging maayos ang preparation, maging organized po ang ating preparation. With no other senators wishing to ask questions, the budgets of the Philippine Sports Commission and the Games and Amusements Board are hereby approved on the committee level and are deemed submitted to plenary. Taking into consideration the discussions today, again, I ask the PSC and GAB to utilize your budgets prudently. Gamitin niyo po ito sa tama at wala pong masayang. Make sure mapunta talaga ito sa ating mga atleta at sa pagpapalakas ng sports dito sa ating bansa. Again, thank you to our resource persons and senators who joined us today. This hearing is hereby suspended.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chair.
Sure na, di ba?